They dump meat on the ground and pour gasoline from the meat leading to the bus door. Max props a ladder against the skylight for a high vantage point. They even board up the windows with metal sheets to avoid being seen. Once all the traps are set, the four hide inside the bus and wait for their target to show up. As dew starts to form, D'Artagnan emerges, but it walks right up to the bait and doesn't touch it. Steve figures raw beef might not be as tasty as live human flesh, so he decides to get off the bus himself to lure the monster to the trap. But as soon as Steve gets close to the monster, several more jump out from other directions.
Steve! Abort! Abort!
Steve knocks one monster down and dives back into the bus. Now dozens of monsters surround the vehicle, and to make things worse, they forgot to close the skylight. Steve darts to the front and shields the three kids behind him. Just as the four think they're about to become food, the monsters suddenly turn and run in the same direction, like they're being summoned by something. A few minutes earlier, soldiers from the lab reach the location Will mentioned. The chief recognizes it immediately. It's where he was trapped once. But apart from piles of bones, there's no sign of the monster's weakness. At this moment, Will keeps apologizing through his sobs, saying the soldiers set fire to the tunnels and enraged the monster, and he had no choice but to do this. Joyce has no idea what he means, but Mike catches on right away. Will's worst fear has come true. He's become a double agent, and the monster is spying on them in return. Mike sprints to the control room, yelling, "It's a trap," but it's already too late. The radar detects a huge number of unknown objects rushing toward the soldiers, and within seconds, every soldier is wiped out. To make matters worse, the monsters don't stop. They're closing in on the lab fast. As the town plunges into crisis, 11 finds her mother. Mama keeps replaying memories of the black girl who was locked up with her in the lab. 11 realizes her mom is trying to tell her to find that girl. Hearing her aunt call the police to report her, 11 leaves without a word and boards a bus to Illinois alone. In a warehouse in a rundown neighborhood, she locates the girl, named Collie, using her powers. They roll up their sleeves to show the numbers on their wrists, confirming their connection. This shared trauma bonds Callie and 11 like sisters. Collie's power is creating illusions, making people's brains believe what isn't real. Collie invites 11 to stay with her group, to live with them. Her friends are all outcasts, rejected by society. They call themselves fighters, but they're really just committing crimes to survive. At first, 11 finds warmth in Collie and thinks she can trust her. Collie even teaches 11 to channel anger to strengthen her powers, so much so that 11 can move a train with her mind. But 11 struggles to fit into this life of crime. They track down a man who used to work at the lab, the same man who hurt 11's mom and planned to get revenge. Just as 11 is about to act, she sees he has 2 young daughters. Her heart softens, and she can't go through with it. Collie pulls out a gun to kill him, but 11 stops her immediately. That's when the police arrive, and the group has to flee in their car. 11 grows uncomfortable living in a world of hatred and anger. She holds Mike's shirt close, remembering the friendship of her friends and the chief's care. That's the real warmth, the home she's always wanted. She slips into a psychic trance, sees the chief and Mike frantic with worry, and feels they're in grave danger. Suddenly, police burst in to arrest Collie's group. Collie uses her illusions to make the police see nothing, then flees with her friends to their car. But 11 refuses to get in. She's too worried about her friends. She has to go back and save them. No matter how Collie yells and begs her to stay, 11 doesn't look back. She runs toward her true home. Back at the lab, a monster crawls to the surface and slams into the glass. Dr. Owens tells the chief not to worry. The glass is made of polycarbonate, unbreakable. But the reassurance backfires fast. Hundreds of monsters follow, swarming the glass. Under their relentless pounding, cracks start to spread. Dr. Owens hits the red alert, ordering an emergency evacuation. But it's too late. In less than a minute, the monsters shatter the glass. The researchers fleeing in the elevators are all killed. Amid the chaos, Mike insists on giving Will a sedative to put him to sleep because the monster can track them through Will. Will screams that Mike is lying. Joyce is confused, but seeing her son's hysteria and hearing gunshots outside, she instinctively feels danger. She tells Bob to hold Will down as she injects him with the sedative. The Chief and Dr. Owens rush over, grab Will and run. But monsters are everywhere. There's no way out. They're forced to hide in the control room. Watching the security cameras, they see a scene straight out of hell. And then the power goes out. Meanwhile, Steve leads the 3 kids through the woods. Following the sound of screams, they see the lab is pitch black. They know something terrible has happened. On the other side of town, Jonathan takes Nancy back to his house, only to find it empty and in disarray. They pick up a Polaroid on the floor and realize the lab must have taken Will and Joyce. They rush to the lab and by chance run into Steve and the kids. Before they can talk, the sound of monsters roars from inside the lab. In the pitch-black lab, the group huddles to figure out how to escape. With the power out, all the building's doors are locked down. To unlock them, they need to restore power, and that means someone has to risk going to the basement to manually restart the system and rewrite the security code. The Chief grabs the map and heads out, but Bob stops him. Bob insists he's the only one who can pull this off. As an electronics store manager, he's the only one here who knows how to code.
Remember Bob, newbie. Superhero.
The Chief gets him a walkie-talkie and a gun. Bob summons his courage and navigates the corpse-strewn corridors. He reaches the 3rd basement level, flicks the main switch, and restores power. After entering the code, the main door unlocks successfully, but as he leaves, he forgets his gun on the table. Dr. Owens hands the walkie-talkie to the Chief, telling him to take Joyce and the 2 boys first. He stays in the control room to guide them. With Dr. Owens' help, they make it safely to the building's entrance. Meanwhile, Bob's evacuation doesn't go smoothly. He nearly runs straight into a monster. Dr. Owens talks him through a safe route, and Bob darts to the lobby, slamming the door shut to lock the monster out. Joyce breathes a huge sigh of relief when she sees him. But suddenly, a monster tackles him to the ground. The Chief fires his gun immediately, but the shots do nothing to the monster. Instead, they draw Downson's more. Watching Bob's fate sealed, the Chief has no choice but to drag Joyce away, despite her protests. Just then, Jonathan and Nancy arrive in their car. They scramble inside, and the group flees to Joyce's house. The Chief calls the FBI for help, but no one believes him. They brush him off, telling them to stay put and wait for rescue. Joyce is still in shock from watching Bob die right in front of her. There's nothing the Chief can do but sit with her. Bob's sacrifice won't be in vain. The kids come up with a plan. Even though there are hundreds of monsters outside, they're just following orders. The real boss is the shadow monster possessing Will. It's connected to the Upside Down through vines, controlling all the other monsters with its mind. In theory, killing the shadow monster would take out all the others too. Mike thinks Will might be their only shot. Since he's linked to the shadow monster, he might know its weakness. To keep the shadow monster from tracking them through Will, they convert Joyce's garage so Will won't recognize it as his own home.